back in the Bossman show here with Adam Nelson. This is the owner of HoopDirt.com, one of my favorite sites to look at every day about the college basketball coaching changes and what's going on in college basketball news-wise, assistant coaches. It's a great site, very informative. Adam, how are things with you and your family, man?
Everything's going okay, JR. It's different time. We're up here in Boston. It's been pretty hard hit up here. We got 4 kids all hunkered in at home. I know you're doing the same down there, and just a different time, but we're all doing okay up here.
Adam, I miss getting to see you when you came to town for the Final Four. A lot of my friends in the business, I really hate. We missed it because of the virus this year. It's really sad. I was looking forward to having all you guys in town, meeting up with a lot of people, had plans, doing the sweatpant week there.
Yeah, you're right. I was looking forward to being down there. I was looking forward to connecting with you down there, and it's too bad that we all had to not be able to be down there, but we'll get back there at some point, yeah.
Yes, indeed. I was actually in Nashville at the SEC tournament when I was told it was all done. And actually, my birthday is March 11th, right? So it was just when everything went down was on my birthday. So forever I would know my birthday was the day everything got shut down in the U.S. from COVID-19, for the rest of my life.
I hear you.
So, I want to talk to you about the carousel this year, man. It's been very, very light. One of my close friends lost a job in Rick Ray, which kind of hurt me a little bit, knowing he's a great guy. He got screwed again. Like in Mississippi State, he got screwed there too in SEMO. But it's only very few changes this year. Not the carousel, not like it used to be. Steve Forbes got a job at Wake Forest. Danny Manning was let go. So what are your thoughts on the carousel so far this year, man?
Yeah, it's been, like you said, it's been really, really quiet. And, obviously I think this COVID-19 has been the reason here. Usually, over the last 5 years, the average number of openings has been 54.5 Division I job openings a year. Right now on, early May, wherever we are, there's only 23 Division I job openings. 23 jobs have opened. So it's been less than half of what it usually does. It's been quiet. A lot of schools have been scared to pull the trigger. You just mentioned Steve Forbes. That's the only Wake Forest was the only high major Division I job to open. When they got rid of Danny Manning a couple weeks ago. So been really, really quiet. And to be quite honest, I mean, this has saved a lot of guys' jobs. A lot of guys.
Yes.
A couple years left, and it's kind of decision time. I think ADs and rightfully so are scared to pull the trigger just because it's such a tough time to navigate right now. It's a tough time with recruiting. You bring in a new guy, it's hard to recruit right now. It's hard to pay buyout money right now. So there's, obviously a lot of reasons for it, but this is really a job-saving year for a lot of guys.
You got that right, and to have the only one high major opening and it happened pretty much in like May 1st, that's like weird. And Danny Manning, you would think with that high buyout he had, which I hear that they're trying to contest it, say it's not as high as it was. I thought he was safe at least for one more year.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right there. I mean, it's a reported $15 million buyout from Manning, and this time to try to be able to pay that is nuts. And yeah, Wake Forest is fighting that. They're saying you do only half. He didn't meet some criteria. Who knows? I think they're going to duke that one out. But yeah, I mean, out of all the openings, Manning had 3 years and $15 million. You think he would get some more time? I mean, you look at someone like Shaka Smart at Texas. This may or may not have saved him. Jim Christian at Boston College definitely saved him. So I was definitely surprised at Manning. I think what surprised me more about Danny Manning was the timing, though, where the season ended, where the season was shut down, and Wake had lost, and people knew this was coming. So why wait till now? Who knows? So that would surprise me a little bit just at the timing. But a lot of these other guys, I think, are very lucky to get another year, and quite frankly, be really curious to see what happens next year.
And I figured Steve Forbes, with the year he had, was going to be gone if it was a normal year. He'll be gone anyway if you ask me if it's a normal year. But him to go to Wake Forest was still in his wheelhouse because East Tennessee State and Wake Forest not that far away from each other. So I think it's kind of that same kind of regional footprint anyway. So he can bring his whole staff with him. And now, would they put Coach Shea in at ETSU as the interim and make him the full-time? Or they going to try to bring somebody from the outside and let Coach Shea go to Wake Coach Forbes?
So that's great question, and I think that's one of again, because it's been so quiet on the coaching carousel right now, that's really the one story that I've been kind of focused on over the last couple of days. That's a really interesting situation because, Shea has been with Forbes the whole time at East Tennessee State. He was with him when Forbes was the head coach at Northwest Florida. They had 2 great years there. They were together on the staff at Tennessee. Like, Shea should really be the guy that takes over at East Tennessee State. He's had a lot of success as an assistant, and he's in the mix. Reportedly he interviewed this weekend for the job. But there's got to be something there. If they haven't named him the head coach quickly, there's definitely something there. So a lot of people are saying, Chris Jans from New Mexico State is the other guy involved here. I've talked to a lot of people around this one, and there may be some others, but a lot of guys are telling me right now it's a 2-horse race between Jans and Shea. So it's curious to see what happens. I think a lot of people are wanting Jans to get it because that means another Division I job opens up, and it makes maybe a little bit more movement on this carousel. But Jans has killed it over the last 3 years. He's gone 82-17, 42-3 in the WAC. A guy with a big personality, similar to Forbes, who kind of come in there and keep that thing rolling. So I don't know what. There's definitely something to this because Shea hasn't been named head coach already, which he still may. And to be quite honest, I hope he gets it because he deserves it. But we'll see what happens there.
Also, another big point, Adam, is the assistant pools. Now, with just COVID-19, pools are probably getting shrunken more than usual, that you can't really pay guys what you want to pay them with the assistant pools kind of not being what they were because we don't know where the money's coming from with no NCAA tournament, no money coming in. People, boosters not ready to put out money as they were because they're scared about their stock market investments or whatever the case may be. Money's not what it was. So we've heard about the assistant pools. How's that been going so far, this carousel?
Yeah, there has not been a lot of movement there either. Assistants aren't moving. The head coaches aren't going. The assistants aren't going. And you're right. I think there is a lot of question about where money's coming from in the future. The NCAA tournament cancellation was a huge hit to not just the NCAA but the individual colleges. Who knows what's going to happen with football season? Athletic departments are going to take a bath there too. So yeah, assistant coaches pools are not moving anywhere. But again, the flip side of that coin is that's what saved a lot of jobs. Schools don't want to pay these buyouts. Again, you look at Boston College, you look at Texas, not wanting to pay 2 or 3 years of a buyout just because of the unknown financial future of the individual colleges and the NCAA. So I think it's definitely tough for a lot of people right now. It really, really, really did save a lot of jobs.
And what are your thoughts on Andy Kennedy, which is 2 hours from here in Birmingham, getting a job at UAB? I know I heard kind of about him early in the year about it, probably where he's heading to, which is kind of not fair to Rob Eshawn, but the fact this film was done before he even got started, what are your thoughts on him getting that job there in UAB, and also in Bucky Miller getting the job there at Sanford right there in Birmingham as well? Yeah,
so to be honest, 2 really good hires. Like you said, there hasn't been a lot of hirings right now, but those are 2 really good ones. You look at Andy Kennedy. He's a UAB alum, and like you said, that one's been lined up for a long time. I mean, we were hearing that one in, January that there's going to be a change at UAB, and it's Andy Kennedy's without a doubt. So that one happened quickly and not surprising. I think he'll do a good job there. Again, being a UAB guy, I think he really likes the place. I think it's a really good fit there. And then Bucky at Samford, what a great story that is. To hire a high school coach, young guy in his 30s. He's had a ton of success at the high school level, local guy. If you want to turn a program around, it's a pretty good way to do it, I think. Obviously no college recruiting experience. He's brought on some guys who can help him recruit. But I think it's a really cool story this offseason. And I think, that's what you need to do to get some energy in some of these programs. Bring in someone who's going to bring that energy. Like I think Bucky will. Same thing with Wake Forest. I mean, that program has been dead for the last 5-6 years. But I think Steve Forbes brings that energy to really turn that thing around. Engage his fan base. Get some excitement around the program. So I think Wake's done a really good job, and I think Samford really did a good job with that hire. And I know a lot of people questioned it. We actually had it first, well before it happened, with some really good sources down there, and people were tweeting at me, telling me there's no way they were going to hire a high school coach. You know what? They did, and I really, really like that hiring. I think they did a really good job there.
had him on the show last week. He was a great interview. 10 minutes with Bucky last week, man. He did a great job and really sold me on it and invited me over there to come see them play. So I'll definitely come
Good.
over there to Birmingham and see them guys play right 2 hours from the house. So no, not an issue there. And my buddy Mark Barrington moving to James Madison. He's from Virginia, so I get that move. And then place him with Brian Burke from Texas Tech. So how about that swap with my man Mark going to James Madison and Brian coming in behind Mark there in Statesboro?
Yeah, again, two good moves. I mean, solid moves. Mark had done a really nice job at Georgia Southern, and he's a Virginia guy. CAA is a better conference. He's making more money, so I think he'll be successful there. And then, Brian Berg at Georgia Southern. Brian was on the staff at Texas Tech. They've been really, really good under Chris Beard. Brian's another one of these basketball lifers, getting a shot at a Division I head coaching job. So Georgia Southern's a good place. Mark Byington showed that you can win there, and hopefully Brian Burke can do the same. But as far as hirings go this offseason, two pretty good ones, two pretty good hirings.
Now, what I was confused by is Bryce Drew to Grand Canyon. That just kind of threw me off. I ain't gonna tell you, I didn't see him come. I saw Bryce was doing TV. He still kind of was in the Nashville area. We texted for, we still kind of via text or what have you. But I don't see him going to Grand Canyon. I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's an interesting job out there. I think they have a lot of money to throw around. Bryce Drew obviously did a really good job at Valpo. Struggled, obviously, at Vanderbilt. Didn't have a lot of time there. They got rid of him after year 3. He can obviously really coach. He's a good guy. And I think, one of the things that you hear a lot about Grand Canyon is they feel like they should be like Butler or Xavier, kind of one of those teams that's always in like the Sweet 16, maybe battling for an Elite 8, and they just never got there under Dan Marley. So I think they threw a lot of money at Bryce Drew, a guy with a good name, squeaky clean guy. He can really coach. So I think that's why he's the choice there. And there was a lot of rumors before they hired Bryce Drew that it was going to be Rick Pitino. Again, you lure him out there with the temperature, the climate in Arizona, and the money. But ultimately, Pitino obviously took the Iona job, and they hired Bryce Drew. So I think, I think it's a good hire. I think he'll do well there. I don't know if they can ever get to the level that they want to get to, but I think that, for them it's a good hire.
And I'm happy about UC Wilmington and Takeo Siddle getting a job there because Kevin Keats is not. Kevin Keats is a friend of mine, but the Wolfpack wants too much for him, and I think he's in trouble next year. So Takeo getting out while he can now get his take over where he was at previously with Coach Keats. It's a great move for Takeo, if you ask me.
I think so too. He knows the place. You said he was there with Coach Keats. They were really successful there, and I think it's a good hire. I mean, they really struggled under CB McGrath, and Rob Burke did a nice job as the interim, but it's hard to keep an interim from a staff where you already fired the head coach, and to bring someone back in that's been on a staff that's had success there. Yeah, especially a young, hungry guy. Same thing I mentioned earlier. It's what you need. You got to energize these fan bases. With UNC Wilmington not having success recently, I think that's a really, really good, really strong hire for them.
And last one I got for you, I think it was a good swap. Jeff Linder going to Wyoming, another good friend of mine named with Steve Smiley. Great move by Northern Colorado, promoting from within. A guy who Coach Linder who went for a long time. They're both friends. He learned. He's worked for Randy Ray as well. So I feel like you have a guy who knows the area. He can keeps continuity going. Same thing on South Dakota State did last year with Coach Henderson. Same thing. So promote from within, keep it rolling, and go from there.
Yeah, you're right. I think obviously Jeff Linder's a great hire at Wyoming. He definitely had some success in Northern Colorado. I was disappointed they got rid of Alan Edwards at Wyoming, though. Obviously, he didn't have the success he needed to, but he really got hot towards the end. Won a couple of games in the league tournament, but it happens. But it's a good hire by Linder. And you're right, though. I think the most important thing was with Northern Colorado promoting Steve Smiley. You want to show loyalty to these assistants. He's been a really good right-hand man for Linder for all those years. Like I said, they've had success. Same thing that we were talking about earlier at East Tennessee State, kind of the reason Jason Shea should be promoted. He's been there the whole time. They've had success. He knows that he can keep that thing rolling. But it's a good thing when you've had success and you get an assistant promoted like that. I think it's a good thing for Steve Smiley. I think it's a good thing for the Northern Colorado program.
Now, I want to keep it right here in Georgia. I think that Tom Crean and Josh Patterson, who Josh Patterson is a friend of mine. Tom Crean and I don't see eye to eye,
Hmm.
but I can be honest about that. Just
Yeah.
about it, we see eye to eye on much. But do you
Yeah.
think they're in trouble next year? Because I feel like Josh needs to win next year, or he's done, and Tom Crean
Mhm.
could be feeling the pressure from in Athens if he don't get nothing done. Just with Joe Scott leaving the Air Force and bringing back Steve McClain, who's been with him for years. But I just don't see how that's going to work up there in Athens with my man leaving to the NBA. Could be a future Hawk as well. So, and Josh not
Mhm.
being really engaged with the Atlanta community as he could, being a coach of Georgia Tech over there.
Yep. Yeah, I definitely. I think Pastner's going to have a problem at Georgia Tech after this. After this season. 4 pretty unsuccessful seasons there. I mean, I guess they were 3 games over 500 this year. It's better. He's 65 and 67 in his 4 years there. They've had an NIT appearance. If there was a postseason, they were banned from it this year. And it's interesting you say if he hasn't engaged with the Atlanta people. I mean, I just don't think that's going to turn out too well. Plus, all the off the court drama. If I'm a betting man, it's time to move on, and they're going to move on. The Tom Crean of Georgia stuff is an interesting one too. A lot of people have been talking about that. It's 2 seasons there. They did improve a little bit. I think losing Joe Scott to Denver, I do think hurts him because Joe's a really good basketball guy. Joe's a really good X's and O's guy, and I know he's comfortable with McClain. He was with him for a long time, so it's interesting to see how that'll play out. But I just, there may be some talk about him being on a hot seat, about Tom Crean being on a hot seat next year, and that's fine. I mean, that's warranted. You're at the high major level, and you're not winning like you should. There's that talk, but I can't see Georgia making a move after year 3 with Tom Crean, especially if they get a little better. He went from 11 and 21 his first season, 16 and 16 last season. You got to think that they have to show a little bit of improvement. But I can't see them moving on after 3 years. Pastor, can see that. Crean, I just can't see that right now.
Yeah, because it's bad when Rob Lanier and Amir Abdul Rahim are in the city more than you are at Georgia Tech. And Josh is my friend. I tell him this all the time. You should get out more in the city.
Yeah.
But he doesn't do it. He's my friend. I told him this to his face. I'll say what I'm saying to you. I'll say to him in private. Get out in the city and engage. Get people to come out there. I mean, you're in the heart of Atlanta. Let's do this.
Right.
Georgia State should not be Atlanta school. It should be Georgia Tech. But I get it. Georgia State's more for people who can afford it in the city of Atlanta. But Georgia Tech should really be the big thing in Atlanta, and you're not doing it. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing I hate about it. But Josh is kind of stuck in his ways. He's my friend, but that's how he is.
Yep. Yeah, but you're right. But you know what? You can't be stuck in your ways, especially at the high major level. Like, you have to be out. You have to be the face of the program. And I keep saying it. You have to generate interest. You have to create a buzz. And Winston-Salem is nowhere near the size of Atlanta, right? You better believe Steve Forbes will be all over Winston-Salem, all over the state of North Carolina, just creating a buzz, getting in people's faces, yelling at them, telling them to come to see Wake Forest basketball, making it exciting again. And you have to be out there. You have to pound the pavement. You have to make yourself, visible. You got to be known. You got to create that buzz. You got to generate that buzz. And, if Josh Pastner's not doing it at the high major ACC level in a huge city like Atlanta, that's a problem.
Yes, indeed. Well, Adam, thank you for your time as always, buddy. It's been great again to get you back on the show, man. Cover this carousel, man. Be safe up there in Boston. We'll talk to you real soon, man.
JR, I appreciate you having me, and look forward to catching up with you soon.
All right, man. It's Adam Nelson here on the Bossman Show.
Till the tears run down from my eyes, Lord, somebody, ooh, somebody, can anybody find me somebody to love?
Alexa, play hits from Queen.
Okay.
Somebody to love. Somebody.
With Amazon Music, a voice is all you need. Get tens of millions of songs. Download the Amazon Music app today.
All right, what's back on the Bossman Show? Time for the JC Sports Report with my man, JC Smith, host of the Essential as Blank podcast with his folks in Memphis, Tennessee. My man, JC, how's quarantine life, brother, going for you guys down there in the 901, man?
Boss, what's good, man? Hey, we coping, man. We maintaining, staying strong up here, man. Just trying to follow all the rules and, just take it day by day, man.
Bruh, are y'all doing people that doing Atlanta are wild in West End Mall, doing donuts in the West End Mall, biker clubs filled up, fighting at Cumberland Mall with the Mortal Kombat Power Rangers kick my man did at the mall in that fight there. Then you got people in line for Jordan at Jimmy Jazz at Greenbrier Mall. So y'all tripping like that in Memphis, we're tripping over here in ATL, man.
Nah, we ain't wilding out like that, man. I think if anything, it's kind of like low key here as far as house parties and cars kind of peeling out, in certain areas, neighborhoods showing out. But as far as at the malls and showing out like that, nah, it ain't happened here yet. But I'm sure it's gonna come though.
No doubt. Well, bro, we're going to get into the lad dance today. But first, I want to talk about the coaching carousels. Been some stories about the Rockets potentially wanting to bring in Jeff Van Gundy as the new head coach because they don't think they'll bring back Mike D'Antoni. The negotiations are going terribly right now. And they said Van Gundy wanted to come back before they hired D'Antoni, but Leslie Alexander, the old owner, who fired Van Gundy, did not want him back. No, Daryl Morey wanted Van Gundy. Also, Mark Jackson was out in the news saying he hopes to coach again one day. If I'm Mark Jackson, bro, I got a cush job doing ESPN. I know I want to coach, but that's a guaranteed $2 million a year for Mark Jackson. Just a cush job. I don't know about that. And Tom Thibodeau, we know he burns people out. Minnesota and Chicago and the Knicks and the Rockets. I don't think none of them players will want to play for Tom Thibodeau and his rigid old ways. What are your thoughts, bro?
Yeah, it's kind of like the out with the old, in with the old, as far as the rumors and everything, man. And, in today's NBA, man, like you said, Thibodeau's an old school defensive minded. He's going to run his guys to the ground. I think Van Gundy is under the same, same notion as well, an old school guy, defense first. I think Van Gundy could probably adapt better than Thibodeau in today's NBA. But like I said, you want to give other guys a chance, man. Young guys, young innovative guys, they're offensive minded. The way the league is going, man. Like I said, I would rather see Mark Jackson get another chance to coach as opposed to Jeff Van Gundy, because the way that Mark Jackson was done at Golden State, I think he above anybody should be number one on any owner's list or GM's list for as far as a retread coach to bring back into the league, man.
Exactly. He's young. He's young enough to do it as well. And also, NBA facilities are going to reopen this week in some states that are open now. What are your thoughts on the facilities reopening as well? The NFL also released a plan. The facilities open up on May 15th. So what are your thoughts about the facilities opening, allow guys to work at the facility, but with really no games in sight coming without proper testing and bubbles and be able to contact trace and test, and when a plan for what happens when a guy does test positive? Do you quarantine the whole team or just that guy? Do you just roll the dice? So what are your thoughts, bro?
I mean, it's interesting, boss, as far as that goes, because everything's up in the air. Everybody, of course, we all want to get back to sports and get everything opening up again. But man, you gotta be careful. You gotta be cautious. Like I said, at this point, there's no talk of a vaccine until maybe early next year. So
at minimum,
yeah, at minimum. So like I said, you are running the risk of players, getting the virus, and then at that point, we're right back at square one, and we got to shut it back down again, man. So there's so many questions, and everybody has proposed plans of how to do it. But like I said, once somebody tests positive for corona again, then okay, then what? Are we're right back at square one? And I think at this point, man, you just pretty much, I say until the fall, don't worry about any sports this summer, man. Just, go ahead, just keep as schedule, and then we'll come back to it, during the fall. But right now, I wouldn't even, if I was a player, I don't know if I want to come back and play right now, man.
And what if you are a Greg Popovich or a Mike D'Antoni or a Brett Brown, guy in your mid-60s or early 70s as Popovich is, and you're in a vulnerable category? A lot of times we're forgetting about these coaches who are very much older with diabetes and blood pressure and things, comorbidities. That think about them too. Are we risking putting our coaches in harm's way now as well, just for the sake of playing?
Right, you gotta take that into account also, man. Like, I do not envy Adam Silver right now and the decision that he has to make. going forward, man. That's tough, man, because you're gonna get criticism either way it goes, whatever you do. You know, nobody's gonna be 100% happy with whatever the decision is, but that's a tough spot to be in. But you're right, you gotta take into consideration, you know, the older coaches, and you know, God forbid that, you know, one of those older guys, you know, would come down with it, and then, man, that wouldn't be good at all, man.
No doubt. Let's turn to the last dance. Dennis Rodman. Let's start that episode, bro. Rodman working with the bad boy Pistons. They traded him after he went fell asleep at the Palace of Auburn Hills to San Antonio. Who didn't hit in with the Bulls, and the Bulls kind of let him Dennis do Dennis, but then Dennis, you know, would play when he wanted to play, and when Scottie Pippen was out, Mike needed him more, and Dennis Rodman liked that. When Scottie came back, he's like the dread third wheel again, and he kind of went like, you know, off the grid again, and he needed a vacation in Las Vegas, and supposedly Jordan had to go get him with Carmen Electra in the room. So, what are your thoughts on the episode, brother, of the last dance, man, with Dennis Rodman and them boys?
Hey, like you said, you know, I'm tuned in to each and every episode. I'm reliving my childhood once again, and I thought I knew everything, but like I said, I found out new things here and there in regards to, you mentioned Dennis Rodman. I think it was a perfect storm, man, that Dennis, you know, landed with the Bulls. Because just imagine if Dennis Rodman would have gone anywhere else after, you know, the 2 years with the Spurs, and, you know, he pretty much burned himself out there and, you know, pretty much turned everybody against him as far as inside the organization and the team. You know, David Robinson couldn't stand Dennis Rodman, so they were ready to get rid of him. And Greg Popovich was the GM of the Spurs who made that trade with the Bulls to get rid of Dennis Rodman, man. So just imagine if Rodman would have ended up anywhere else other than Chicago at that time. Rodman may have been out of the league, you know, a year or two after that. He may have had, you know, a year stint here, a year stint there, because it would only work with a coach like Phil Jackson. It would only work with the greatest of all time, like Michael Jordan. You know, it would only work with a Scottie Pippen, guys that knew Dennis Rodman, knew the player that he was, but also knew that Dennis had to be Dennis. And, you know, you had to give him a little leeway. You had to give him a little rope there as far as allowing him to do what he wanted to do, because you knew at the end of the day, you know, and definitely Jordan knew at the end of the day, hey, this guy can help me win championships. And Phil Jackson had to, you know, handle him with kid gloves. Like, you had to know when to be stern and know when to kind of lay off with Dennis Rodman. So it all worked out perfectly, man. And Dennis Rodman, at the end of the day, even though he was going to do him, he had the utmost respect for Michael Jordan, for Scottie Pippen, because he knew, you know, the caliber of players that they were. And at the end of the day, Rodman was a dog, man. When he was out there on the floor, you knew he was going to give you, you know, all 100% of everything that he had. And off the floor, you know, he didn't have to be friends with those guys. He could be able to do, you know, do his own thing. So it all was like a perfect storm. It all came together perfectly, man, to the point, you know, like I said, you know, 6 championships in 8 years. And, you know, still got some more episodes to go. Boss, I don't know if you saw the Horace Grant episode where they said Horace Grant was snitching, you know, telling Sam Smith, you know, some of the details going on, you know, inside the locker room that led to that book, The Jordan Rules, which I read back in the day as a kid, man. And then also another story I heard about recently where Michael Jordan, you know, he was a tough guy with his teammates to the point where, you know, if Horace Grant had a bad game, you know, and they're on the team plane going back home, Michael would tell the stewardess not to serve Horace Grant dinner, telling him, hey, don't serve him, don't feed him. Man, that's tough, man. Another grown man telling you can't eat, bro. How? How did that happen?
Houseway. Yeah. And also the story about, you know, how his mama, you know, he was the Adidas guy. He liked the Adidas. But they weren't really, you know, but his mama pushing him in that direction opened the door for this Jordan brand conglomerate with Nike, and how Be Like Mike and his commercials. He said his basketball was the reason he had those commercials. I mean, just think about this. His mother pushed him in that direction, got him the way he is now with Nike.
Yeah, man. Like, hey, mom is the real MVP, man. She's the real president of Nike. When it boils down to it, you know, I can even imagine Michael Jordan, you know, playing in some Adidas or some Converse in the NBA. I know he played in both in college, but in Adidas and Converse. But man, just think, no Air Jordan line. I mean, it would have been Air Jordan. It would have been Air Jordan line with Converse and Nike. I mean, Converse and Adidas. But at that point in time, Converse, didn't really see, a scenario where a rookie could come into the league and have his own shoe. So like I said, it was the perfect opportunity for Nike, because they were, like I said, looked at it as, maybe it was the third best sneaker at that time. So it was a perfect opportunity for them. And then also keep in mind, boss, their projections, when they signed Jordan at Nike and we're going to come out with their first Air Jordan, their projections were going to hopefully sell what? Maybe, a couple $100,000 worth of shoes. And it ended up like, what, almost $100 million, man. So I think the projection was like $3 million. They were hoping to do $3 million in sales initially, and they ended up doing over $100 million off their first pair of Air Jordans, man. That's crazy, man. That's gold. It was just, like I said, perfect opportunity, man, where they could just strike, and they never looked back ever since then, man.
And bro, I was a little bit younger when Jordan was winning his first round of championships. I was like 4, 5, and 6. I had no idea that Mike Fratello, the czar, worked the NBA on NBC with Marv Albert in 91, 92, 93.
Oh, yeah.
And Magic Johnson's no talking but would come in for the finals with him. I had no idea until this documentary, because I was like 4, 5, and 6 then when they was first 91, 92, 93.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny you would mention that. I've been going back watching the old games on ESPN Plus and everything, watching those old finals games. And, yeah, man, that was the golden age of the NBA on NBC. Matter of fact, that was the first year. Jordan's first year when they won the finals, the first year NBC started broadcasting NBA games. And, Magic Johnson joined in on the telecast. Whose game is it? It's Michael Jordan's game. That's my favorite Magic Johnson line from when he was a broadcaster on the games there, man. But yeah, it didn't get no better than that. And hearing the opening song, come on, man. It doesn't
round ball rock,
Yeah, shout out to John Tesh. It didn't get no better than that, man. And I wish they could go back to those old telecast formats like that and the music and everything. But yeah, that was the best time to be an NBA fan to me, man.
Yes, indeed. And also, Michael Jordan, they got on him for going to Gamble Lang City. And they had Nick series there. And, he liked to gamble with my man who headed to go testify in court against the guy.
Right.
I mean, Michael Jordan loved to gamble. But if you got the money to trick off, I mean, do your thing as long as it don't, come back and bite you.
Yeah, I mean, just imagine them reporting that now. How it wouldn't be a big deal, and I really don't understand why it was such a big deal then. As long as Michael Jordan wasn't pulling a Pete Rose, and betting on the games, and by all accounts, he wasn't doing that. He was betting on himself. As long as he's betting on himself outside the game, like, whose business is it? Like, why was it? I guess, during that time, they felt like, of course, when somebody gets so big, it's always going to be somebody trying to pull him back down a little bit, bring him back down to earth. And, like, they had to do something, get something on Jordan. And that was the only thing they could find on him at that time was the gambling. So they made a big deal about it and speculations and rumors. And it got to a point where, I think even before Jordan's dad died and Mike set out those a year and a half, I think Michael Jordan was probably leaning towards leaving the game anyway because he was just tired of all the criticism and, everybody in his business. And, at a certain point, that can get very, very, very tiresome, and it could be a burden, man. And Jordan, he pretty much didn't feel like there was any other peak or any, another level that he could get to in the NBA at that point. And everybody's, coming down on him for his gambling, something that's not even their business. So yes, I'm pretty sure at that time he probably thought, you know what, to hell with it. I don't need this. Let me dip for a minute, get my mind right. And then when his dad passed away, when his dad was murdered, that pretty much sealed it as far as him definitely stepping down for a year and a half there.
Yeah, and he came back as 45. I remember that very well.
Man.
It's 45. So, yeah, I mean, it's been interesting. Oh, yeah, and the Dream Team practices, that Dream Team practice where, they, Magic Johnson, talking junk to Michael Jordan. He went off in practice and went to crap talking them all and ended up winning the practice in the Dream Team and how he made a power play or political move using the flag to cover up the Reebok on the on the uniform or the jumpsuit there, and
Mm-hmm.
the Tony Kukoc thing, and how him and Scottie Pippen was out to, punk Tony Kukoc there.
Right, right. Yeah, man. Poor Tony. He didn't stand a chance, man. Um, but yeah, when you talk about the dream team and the greatest team ever assembled, and all the players on that team, except Isaiah Thomas, that's a whole nother story, man. But Michael was just so driven. Like, say what you want as far as Mike off the court. Him not wanting to take a stand as far as politics or anything like that. But on the court, man, like, the guy was just so driven to win, man, and to a point where he was just, diabolical, and the tactics he would use, to try to inspire other guys to get on his level. Mike, was something, that we'll never see again as far as somebody that, maybe Kobe was the next closest thing, but somebody that driven to win, man, and surrounded by all those other all-stars on the dream team, and how Mike just had to be the best regardless, man, at anything he did, whether it was practice, playing cards, golf. Like, Mike had to win and win at all costs, man. And, somebody with that much drive, you will never see that ever again.
And, also kind of looked at the series as Phoenix and kind of highlight, Phoenix had some chances. They was up late in some games there, and the Bulls just had the belief more. They could execute in crunch time. But I didn't realize how really close that series was, Phoenix and the Bulls, that Phoenix had some chances had they not just, made a shot or two here and there. It's truly, like Jeff Gunny says, a make or miss league.
Right. I think Phoenix series 93 and then the Utah series that last year. Oh, no, sorry, 97. 97, 98, they played the Jazz back-to-back. Those are probably the toughest finals the Bulls had during that run, as far as being pushed to the brink there. But Phoenix got down early in that series. They were down 0-2 to the Bulls there, and had to kind of fight and claw to get back into that series. But that was a very talented Phoenix team. Charles Barkley, MVP that year. You talking about All-Star and Kevin Johnson and Dan Marley. You had some players on that squad, man, and they definitely gave the Bulls some problems here and there. But being the fact that they went down 0-2 pretty much sealed the fate that Phoenix was going to lose that series.
No doubt. Well, bro, I tell you what, man, we're going to watch this documentary here on Sunday, Mother's Day coming up here. We'll watch that and we'll recap some more of that next week. And we'll also look at the NFL contingency schedule, because schedule release is coming out, but we all know those dates are in pencil.
Right. Exactly. To be determined. Right, at this point.
Yes, indeed. Well, bro, hold it down, man. Good catching with you as always. As always, brother, be safe. We'll talk to you next week, man.
All right, boss. Appreciate you, bro.
That's J.C. Smith here on the Bossman Show.
Till the tears run down from my eyes, Lord, somebody, ooh, somebody, can anybody find me somebody to love?
Alexa, play hits from Queen.
Okay.
Somebody to love. Somebody.
With Amazon Music, a voice is all you need. Get tens of millions of songs. Download the Amazon Music app today.
Folks, back on the Boss Man Show. Time for our weekly segment, Florida Man and Florida Woman News here in the Boss Man Show. The Boss with my man, Bone. Bone, what's good up in New Jersey, my brother?
Man, we're all chilling. We're all safe. It's good to be here today. Like I said, the schools in this area are closed down, so my son is happy, and we're just chilling, man, kicking it.
I hear that. And Bone, on Twitter, I showed you a picture of the idiocy here in Atlanta, Georgia, at the Greenbrier Mall, where clowns were lined up for 5 hours to get Jordans from Jimmy Jazz at Greenbrier Mall, which also a COVID-19 testing site here in Georgia. So I feel like a lot of them will be heading there when they start coughing and sneezing and won't be seen at the hospital because their idiot asses went out to stay in line without masks on to get some Jordans at Jimmy Jazz.
Well, I mean, I'm not even a big fan of J's. So I don't understand like why the line is from Jordans, man. I was never like a big Jordan advocate. I wasn't really the kind of guy, I need the new J's. So now, of all times, I definitely know new J's, man. I'm not going to say life and death or some Jordans. These people, they all need a steel chair to the head.
Exactly. And furthermore, people were at Piedmont Park in Midtown Atlanta for a Blue Angels flyover in the middle of a pandemic.
Man, it's as stupid does, man. It makes no sense.
Additionally, in East Atlanta, there was a biker club popping off with people close in action. There was a kickback pop-up at the West End Mall here in Atlanta. And there were some clubs open up on the low, hole in the walls. So, in 2-3 weeks here in Georgia, we're going to be like probably New York and New Jersey because of the idiocy. And also, there are a lot of people have been put in the ground. Those funeral home commercials will be even more after all the people that be popping off and falling off the wave because they was idiots. Went to places they shouldn't have went. Because see, there's some point out that the COVID-19 is born. You think you're good, but then also it hits you like a brick and you're done.
Yeah, exactly. And isn't the CDC in Atlanta?
It is right down street from the Capitol. The dumb governor can see it from his damn window.
Oh, the irony of the CDC in that city, and that state is going buck wild now. The irony.
Yes, we had a temporary Georgia man segment but now we get to the main course here. So, folks, you've been waiting on it. It's time for it. It's here. It's a Boss Report. Gonna start you off with the worst bone. Florida man cut off his Johnson after his woman told him his thing was too small.
So the joke should be, did you find it? So it's that small. I mean, hey, buddy. I mean, I can't relate. But I'm just saying, like, if you had that problem with your woman, why are you cutting it off? Just find a new woman who may appreciate that little bit of talent you got. I mean, why are you cutting it off?
I don't get it.
That's the question I always think about. Why are you cutting up your junk to fight a woman? That makes no sense. I'll show her.
Oh, it gets worse. Florida man cuts off his Johnson after he sprayed the ice cream inside of her mouth. Rather than swallow the ice cream, she spit it out, so he cut off the Johnson.
The rationale. I mean, these people, they got me high. I mean, one time I cut my finger, cut some carrots and celery, and that hurt like a mug, man. And that was my finger. I can't imagine the pain tolerance you have to cut through all the way through your Johnson, right? What kind of pain threshold do you have?
And okay, I want to ask a question. What kind of weapons do these men carry with them to be able to cut themselves off at a moment's notice? What weapon are you carrying with you to do this? To saw yourself off like this?
Yeah, good point. Yeah, and what do you carry in your pocket? And as you're going through the act, the initial slice, aren't you having a second thought? Aren't you having a second thought? Maybe it's not a good idea.
Oh, God. Oh my God! There's two more to go like this, Bone. And I'm just gonna get them out of the way now, so we can get this horrible thread over with. Here we go. Florida man was arrested to cut his Johnson off in Walmart after he was not given a Subway sandwich at the Walmart Subway for free.
Ew. Now, first of all, the lead is he got mad at not because he's gonna have a Subway sandwich. Man, Subway is, to me, trash. So, I mean, I hope they're not sponsored here, but I'm not.
They're not.
Anyway, okay, I'm not a Subway fan to begin with, so I don't understand the hoopla over Cutler Johnson for not getting a like, again, if you're going to cut off your Johnson, who does that serve? Because you're not getting Subway sandwich and you don't have a Johnson.
Exactly. And the last one is a story I figured happens a lot in the world, but not this far. But Florida man is arrested after going off on woman who he cut grass for, how she refused to give him some in exchange for her lawn being cut. He cut himself off after the encounter with the woman.
So, again, what does that serve? Like, did he cut it off and then put it in a box and then give it to her? Like, a souvenir? What did he do? And why? Because he's doing manual labor for her, and then he wasn't getting none in return, so he cuts off his Johnson. How about then stop cutting her lawn then? That would teach her. That would show her a lot more than cut up your Johnson, man.
My thoughts exactly. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. Oh, man. Florida man arrested for camping at Walt Disney World's abandoned Discovery Island. The 40-something-year-old camper said, I'm staying here for a week to get my freak on with Pornhub.
Is he homeless? Like, we have... Because Pornhub is free now for everyone. So is he homeless? He doesn't have the spot to go to? And why Mickey Mouse of all places?
Exactly, of all places.
What is that a fetish? Like, what is? I don't understand. Is he big on costumes? I don't understand. Why would you go there to whack it off for a whole week? I mean, and why not just go get a no-tell motel for like $20 a night? Like what? I don't understand the rationale, people, man.
Exactly. This guy's even worse. Florida man throws urine on prosecutor doing sentencing in a Fort Lauderdale court. Why's court even open right now?
I'll tell you now, if I'm a prosecutor, I'm kick off my tie and my jacket and I'm whooping that man's behind, right? I'm losing all professionalism. I'm losing all my cursing points on some dude throwing urine on me.
Yeah, in court. And my other question, why is court even open right now? West Florida.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
Get this. Florida man handpicked by dummy Ron DeSantis to be Broward County Sheriff admits to killing somebody as a teen.
Man, he admitted to killing someone?
Yes, as a teen.
As a teen, so is that like limitations? Like he can't get locked up now for that, or what's the ruling on that? Because it's so long ago, right?
Yeah, it's been on 35 years.
Yeah, and Florida already is like the Wild Wild West, so they probably just overlooked it to begin with, allegedly. So because we've seen stories about people getting murdered and dudes walking away scot-free. So I like what is ramifications for this? I don't understand.
And he's a brother too.
Oh, he's a brother. Oh, that changes a whole lot of things. Oh, I thought it was one of those things where the victim was the brother and the sheriff was not one of us, and he just walked away scot-free. Because that seems like more Florida type thing. But he's a brother doing this. Wow. So does he get locked up for this?
Don't know, but they're looking into his file even more, they say.
And he admitted it outright, or was it just unearthed?
He admitted it outright in part of the vetting process.
Wow, he must have a strong conscience where he's like, I can't take it anymore, man. I got to come clean. But to wait 33 years, I guess kind of ain't that big.
Exactly. Get this. Florida man knocks out Uber Eats driver with a steel chair for not leaving his order where he told him to.
Well, don't they have I never used Uber Eats, so don't they have a note section in the app where you can say leave it? I guess homeboy didn't listen, and he put it where it should have been.
Yeah, he got hit with a steel chair because of it.
So that caused a steel chair to the head. Like I don't know. Like is that his tip? Like I don't know. Like how do you even do? And what kind of rating do you get from this? Like, you hit with a chair, man. That's not good rating, I don't think.
Exactly. Wow. Florida man takes free food from school nutrition program meant for students and sells it for profit on the streets in his food truck.
Oh, that is wild and grimy, man. That is so dirty. I was like, that's a serious matter right now in this country with there's kids who are home from school who all depends on the food service. And now this cat is stealing it and profiting off it.
Yes.
Oh man, look, man, listen. That is it. There's a special room in hell for a guy like that, man. So I hope he packs lightly where he's going afterwards.
Exactly. And 5 Florida men, just as the Grim Reaper, are now patrolling Florida beaches now, up and down the coast.
I don't see some sight with your family. First of all, you are a dumbass. It's going to be anyway with your family. But I would see a sight to see a bunch of Grim Reapers just walking around and on the beach, man, and just like saying you're going to die soon. Like, that must be a tripping.
But what about you? You're on the beach too, and you're in an all-black outfit.
Yeah, like we said last week, those guys who are in the outfit, they must have dehydration, and they might join these people soon, man, because that's a lot of heat and those black suits on the beach, man.
Exactly, man. Oh man, Florida man knocks out pastor with a 2x4 who came by to give him communion.
Like the devil? Like why was he hitting dudes on the head with a for?
Exactly, because I guess he wanted to come to his house to give him communion, I guess, and knocked him in the head with a 2x4.
So we had the chair shot, and then we had the hacksaw Jim Duggan assault. So, I mean, it's not bad. It's getting a little better.
Exactly. Get this. Florida man abducts scientists to make his dog immortal. God.
What? Man, is dog immortal?
You know, science make his dog immortal. Yeah, that's why he couldn't happen. Like, really?
It's a dog. I mean, I love dogs and all, but you're going through a lot of trouble, man. I feel extra to go through a lot of trouble for a dog, man.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Oh my God. Get this. Florida woman, 32. Charged after she exposed herself and used multiple sex toys while on video call with her inmate boyfriend while her young children were in the background cheerleading.
Oh my God, cheerleading!
Yes.
But they're rooting them on like 2 Live Crew videos.
Exactly.
Come on, man. Go ahead, mama, pop. Come on. What is going on in this world? What is going on with your home state?
I have no idea. I don't know what's going on in Georgia either.
Yeah, that's true. Good point. It's heading north, man. The brain cells are all dying, going north.
Exactly.
I'm worried, I guess.
Exactly. Oh my God. Florida man destroys neighbor with a metal bat after catching dog crapping on his property for the 4th time this week.
After 4 times. I mean, he probably told him too, like the first 2 times, right? To, keep your mingy dog on my property, right? So after the 3rd or 4th time, I'm not saying that the guy should get beaten and assaulted with a bat, but I kind of understand the anger from that neighbor, man.
Exactly. And get this. Florida man's Luke Bryan's bar defies the state orders, holds karaoke night this past weekend. They'll all be dead.
So karaoke night in a bar, right? So the bar's probably packed.
Mm-hmm.
And they're passing around this metal microphone that has COVID all over it, probably. So they're just passing around each other. And yeah, they're all going to get really bad, really soon.
Yes, indeed. Florida man accused of skipping quarantine after New York trip beats down person who told on him with their rotting mower and rake.
Well, you know the slogan, man. About stitches.
Get stitches.
He kept it real, man. He's like, look, you know the slogan. Bitches get stitches, and I'm going to show you how you ratted me out. So I'm not emphasizing assault and beat down, but you know the code of the street, man. But again, these are different times where dudes walking around with a deadly virus. You gotta kind of like stay in your lane, stay home, man. But if you get snitched on, it's really your fault in the end.
Correct. Florida woman arrested after assaulting her boyfriend with a candy cane during an argument after in which he came too fast after an activity.
Ooh. So she beat him with a candy cane?
Yeah, because he came too fast doing an activity.
Like, what kind of candy cane? Like a big giant
giant one that she had left over from Christmas.
So she beat him with it, so it wasn't inserted anywhere, right?
No.
I mean, okay, all right. Because I was getting a little queasy when you said she beat him, assaulted him with a candy cane. I don't know how. Like,
yeah, it was one of them big powdered ones.
Yeah, I was just hoping that it was like some kind of prison scene in a shower scene or something.
He wasn't sitting up his candy ass, literally.
Yeah, literally. So I'll work for him. But that's messed up, man. It really is.
Woo-wee. Florida man on the loose. I'm still selling over $1 million in fentanyl from the local CVS.
He stole it?
Mm-hmm.
Fentanyl?
Mm-hmm.
And how much he steal?
$1 million worth of it from CVS on the loose.
$1 million for what? How is that much fentanyl in CVS? And how did he pull it off?
He's a
was
brother
after
too.
hours?
He's a brother too.
Oof.
After hours, you're ready. You're right. After hours.
That's another show. After hours, but how much are they passing him there? Man, and he's still on the loose, huh?
Mm-hmm.
He's probably long gone, man. They ain't catch that boy.
Nah, I ain't catching him. Ain't catching him. Florida man and DEA agent arrested after stealing PPE from an agency warehouse.
Why?
That's exactly why.
Why are you stealing pee? Like, why? What is your end game? What's your purpose? What's your mission for this? Was there a drug testing thing or?
No, they stole PPE, what the nurses need, the personal protective equipment.
Oh, thank God! I really thought you meant PP, like pee.
Like
urine.
PPE. Yeah.
Oh, thank God. Okay, that changes everything for me. That's still wrong. Again, like, we need this stuff. We need PPEs out there. Why is a shortage of? Why are you stealing from them? But I will say, thank goodness it wasn't PP, because that would make the story even weirder.
Well, we got our P story for you, kind of right on the cue here.
Oh no.
Florida was arrested after peeing on woman sunning on the beach on South Beach. He peed on her.
What?
Said it,
So they let R.
Yes, said
they let R. Kelly loose.
Yeah, he said he wanted to go.
Running around again?
He wanted to go half on a baby with her by peeing on her. That's what he said.
So I really thought of R. Kelly or Trump. So I mean, so maybe they gave R. Kelly out for the weekend, for ungood behavior. I don't know, but that's wild. Like, he peed on a woman on sunbathing, right?
Yeah, somebody. Yeah, he peed on her. Yeah. He wanted to go
so
half.
Like, was he trying to just talk to her and kick it with her? And maybe, oh man, if they get down and pee on you instead, like what's his end game?
I don't get it.
Yeah. Peeing on women for no apparent reason on the beach. First of all, why is she out there in the first place on the beach sunbathing? But, I don't think she could really get peed on for her efforts.
Exactly. Get this. Florida man cop uses taser on Florida woman, fiance, at her request at Jack in the Box. Then gets suspended after she snitched on him after they broke up because he couldn't perform in bed.
Oh, she set him up nice, man. That's a setup, fellas. So she told him to stun him with the taser, and then told him how to fight. That was a setup for me to get up, man. That dude is a poor staff at the wrong place at the wrong time, and that's what happens. See, he came on short. Woman scorned. Yes. No fury.
Yes, indeed. We're on our last three stories here. Florida man arrested after allegedly performing a box castration surgery out of his home. Why would I go to somebody's home to be castrated for?
Yeah, and why are you first of all getting castrated? Like, and then why are you going to someone's dingy, dusty dungeon, a basement, to get it done?
Wow. Florida man, University of Miami professor fired after TikTok of pornographic bookmark goes viral.
I said pornographic bookmark.
Yes.
Was he on Pornhub? See, Pornhub doesn't get people in trouble, man. These people, just because it's free access now, man, doesn't mean you have to use it all the time. It's gonna get a lot of y'all in trouble.
Oh, and this is the brother, unfortunately. Florida man who was busted with guns and his car told cops his cousin John Wick was to blame.
Ha! Did they buy it? Did they buy the name?
No.
Because John Wick's a pretty popular movie series, so you gotta be under a rock if you're a police officer and you believe that.
Yeah, and we have one more bonus one before you go. Miami man arrested after misleading investors over some fake coronavirus masks that he had for sale.
Oh, that's grimy, man. He's taking advantage of people who are paranoid and confused and scared. That is wrong on all levels, man. What's wrong with this cat? Was he say one of us?
No, he was not one of us. He was Hispanic.
Oh, okay, all right. That's still, man. That's terrible. Take advantage of people who right now in a crisis, who are already on edge, who are already just confused with all the lies stuff going out there in the media. Like, to take advantage of people, that's lousy, man. Real lousy.
So at the end of the Boss Report this week, Bone, what is your take on this week's Florida Man Boss Report? A lot of layers this week. What is your take on everything we heard today?
Yeah, a lot of layers. A lot of people out there who are really dumb. People who I don't understand the whole like peeing on people thing, like or throwing urine at somebody. I don't understand that. I do like. I kind of like the whole thing with the 2x4s because we didn't really have any spears or rock bottoms this week, but a good old fast and chair shots and 2x4s are always pretty good.
And a bat shot too.
Yeah, that's true too.
And I gotta say this again. When you cut off your Johnson, you don't hurt them, you hurt yourself.
Exactly. You're not spiting them, man. Like, dude, just don't cut her lawn anymore. Just say, I quit. I'm not giving you free lawn cuts anymore. Don't just cover your Johnson and say that. Like, that makes no sense.
And you know what, Bone? You cut it off because she didn't swallow. But she at least lets you, go in her mouth.
Yeah.
I mean, be happy you got that.
You got that going for you, brother. Take it as a win.
And you cut yourself off because you didn't get the full Monty?
Yeah, I think he wanted the full service. Still, man, that defeats the purpose of having fun. You even get toppy. There's no top with no Johnson.
Oh my God, Florida. I thank you so much. If it wasn't who you were, we wouldn't have a segment every week. So thank you, Florida, for being who you are. So that's all I can say about that. Well, boom. Be safe this week. We'll talk to you again next week, my brother, on the Boss Report here. And I know we have a great fan with a bad beard who listens to it every week, so shout out to him. Screw him as well. So, folks, this has been Boss and Bone, the Boss Report. We out.
And if you don't know